And we're live. Welcome back to another Lucius Live. I got my boys here with me. Fresher Luke. Fresher Luke, how you doing?
I'm great. How are
Great.
you, Lucius?
I'm doing pretty good. I am jazzed up, fueled up by a couple of four locos over here to my side.
Oh,
And we got
whoa.
our man. Yeah, no, that trash swill. But it's in my bloodstream already. I'm running on that
That
what would you
loco
call it?
juice.
Like biodiesel? What would be the fuel equivalent of Four Loco? What would that be? Just raw crude oil? Just
I guess it is.
Kerosene.
kerosene. There we go.
Kerosene,
Yeah, there we go. And we also got J Dollar. J Dollar. It's been a while, man. We keep missing you. We keep missing you. You're back now, and apparently you've been telling me there's going to be a switch up. There's going to be you got another strike for playing some shit you shouldn't have played.
Yes.
According to YouTube. So now you gotta like nerf it down. You gotta get some nerf YouTube clips. Like it's safe to use, safe to play. What's this channel? Come on, tell us.
It was called Skulking Publishing. And I will focus only on what this genre that we always talk about. And I promise YouTube I won't post politicians kissing each other anymore or people talking about Donald Trump. Promise.
Well, you just said the trigger word, so now this channel's going to get striked.
Well, I mean, I think I apologized before it, so the algorithm should know my voice by now and should accept my apology, right?
Right, he could be part of the we're turning him around thing.
Yes.
Like he's admitting his sins, and now he's going to atone.
Assalamu alaikum. Salam.
There we go. You're already on the way.
Wait, what did the
Don't do it. Whatever you're thinking right now, don't do it.
What are the cat wearers? I don't know the prayer. I don't know it
either because I don't do it. Do you know, Luke?
Oh, about what?
I believe this is he's asking what's a Muslim prayer. Can you lead us on this? Do you know it?
I think I have something. Maybe if you share the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we'll do. Here we go, J Dollar.
Here we go.
That's perfect.
This is it.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people.
Yep.
But the people are retarded.
There you go. That's your prayer.
Is that a sheik? Or is that a
I'm not sure, but he's got a lot of insight.
Man.
Yeah. He's got a lot of insight into human mind.
Now, speaking of insight, I found this. I found a number of things for the show, but I thought, Fresher Luke, you could bring some insight.
Oh,
whoops. Not on this one.
Yes.
Oh, what? I don't
We'll
know
get back to that.
popular.
We'll get back to that one.
I have no insight on Alec Baldwin's murderous impulses.
What do you think about gun rights, man? No, it was my next tab. I thought,
okay.
Son of a bitch, I did it again, didn't I? God damn.
Yes, you did. What are you doing, dude?
Amateur right here. I got
Well,
done grilling.
You are how many Four Locos in right now?
I think I'm on number 3. Now these are 12-ounce cans. Usually when you buy yeah, they have like a multi-pack. I was going for the dollar value.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a Four Locos story that I'll never, ever, ever forget.
Here we go. This is the one I was looking for.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Is this truth? Like,
yes.
Did you ever like when you growing up, were you like, yeah, I want to do Tom and Jerry. I want to do, Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd. Just like the simple
when I was
violence
growing
kind
up
of thing.
When I was growing up, I wanted to do Akira.
That's even a little more
Nice.
hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a shit.
But-
Like I saw that when I was 13. I don't know how old you were when you exposed yourself to that, but I was like, holy shit! I didn't know they did cartoons like this. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Like, it was the perfect time to watch.
I know. Well, there was a thing recently. They were doing a revival of the Looney Tunes in the old style recently. Warner Brothers
Mhm.
was, and it was one of the ones they did was of Elmer Fudd chasing Bugs Bunny, right?
Uh-huh.
You know that age-old thing.
Yeah.
But it's for today. They were making it. I think it was last year. And the clip they showed was Elmer Fudd trying to get Bugs Bunny with a scythe. And everyone was like, wait, but Elmer Fudd's a hunter. He needs a gun. And the response was like, oh, we need...
He
it's made
stepped
for
up his
today's-
game. He stepped up
We
his
made
game.
it for today's sensibilities. We don't want to advocate for guns in children's animation.
Yeah, he's sneaking up and gonna slice him up, man.
Gonna slice him up. He's a Grim Reaper. He's got this
Yeah.
scythe, the goofiest Grim Reaper ever. It was really bizarre. But then, I think it was later on, they just were like, screw it. They just went ahead and let it go.
You know what was weird? I was trying to find HBO got all the old Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find the Bugs Bunny episode where he is the bullfighter.
Yes.
And I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Find it. It didn't come up.
Animal
I was like,
cruelty.
Yeah, I was like, of all the fucking episodes I can't find this thing. And I tried searching for it because they do it by year, like the release year.
Yeah.
It's really shit way to try to find anything. But I could find every other classic one. I remember watching this thing on VHS back in the day. And I was like, it was a classic, man. It was a classic episode. Not on HBO Max.
You also could never find. I bet. Try this out next time you're on there. I bet you could never find any episodes of Speedy Gonzales either.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
even
gone.
look.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering about Pepe Le Pew. Whether he's still with us,
they've probably
you know?
gotten rid of him as well. So yeah.
Such bullshit, dude. These are classic fucking cartoons, man.
And the interesting thing about Speedy Gonzales is that they got rid of him because they were, the usual Mexican stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is Mexicans loved Speedy Gonzales. They saw him as kind of their mascot, and he's like their hero in a way. You know what I mean?
So what is it why did they stop doing the 1 little 2 little 3 little Indians 4 little well, that one's a half breed, so what went from that because what has it been 55 years since Walt Disney died, and then Warner Brothers, there's been a shift somewhere too. Where in the hell did it go wrong? Where did it why?
the time? Well, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, we see it today in today's culture. It's it's all about not offending identities and trying to, I guess, what would you say? Not prostrate, pose, or I guess position themselves in a way so that when people look back, they say, "Oh yes, they did the right thing. They got rid of these harmful racial stereotypes, even though most people don't care about that stuff. They assume it's offending." And it happened around about the beginning of the 2000s. That's when it kind of started, and that's sort of, I guess, the slow creep of.
You've seen the streams with Ethan, that bald guy talking about.
There was 3 bald guys on his stream.
Yeah, be a little more specific. Man.
Yeah, which of the bald guys?
The one who made comicsgate.org. They were talking about that law that was written into government about how these corporations are incentivized to do what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that was Obama started that. Yeah, it's
so what it is on top of them not being able to pay taxes, what I think happened is they were able to skirt language through that while Trump was around to match the inflation on top. So when you have a currency and you continue to print and print and print and print, by proxy, you'll have inflation. So the value of the dollar is diminished by the overabundance of currency that you're printing. So by proxy, again, to use that term again, the price of things will go up, even though really things aren't really going up. The price of things are matching the dollar that you're printing.
Okay, and how is this relating to?
Well, what they've done is so through doing that and doing the I forget what they did with Trump beforehand. They were able to print a whole lot of money before Trump left, and they were able to put these laws in that allowed them to take more money out by promoting leftist ideology.
Sure.
So not only are they getting a tax break by promoting leftist ideology on television, through movies, through comics, through entertainment, through Saturday Night Live, anyone who does it, they're able to go through this process that Ethan and a bunch of other streams, Nerdrotic and I think one other guy did a good stream on it. They're able to just pilfer more money.
Yeah.
So they get funded by the government essentially to do
well,
this.
I think it's funding through tax breaks, because if they don't go to pay
tax,
tax,
it's
that's
and they support, like, it's like, oh, we support things that promote diversity, blah blah blah. So if you're a startup, quote unquote, or a fledgling thing, like, well, we'll help you out. We'll give you money to give this point of view, or even higher, because there's some of these places where it's like, we're all minority owned, we're all minority workers or whatever, like, and that means they get
they figured out a loophole,
a cash injection.
They figured out a loophole to write language to incentivize corporations to do certain actions for them, to give them funds.
Yeah, it's incentivizing behavior.
Yeah, it's
pretty devious.
Brilliant.
Well, it's brilliant, but it's also fucking
terrible,
evil.
But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My question, I got a big question. My question is, obviously that extends to corporations, but that extend to nonprofits as well.
Yeah, Small Business Association in America too, the SBA.
So that would also explain why there's this organization called WEA, Women in Animation. That's a nonprofit that's designed specifically to reach 50-50 gender equality across all creative positions across the whole animation industry. And I'm wondering if maybe they're getting kind of like the same kind of benefits as well, and that's kind of what is incentivizing them and giving them power, so to say.
Yeah. And I think Kathleen Kennedy is actually taking advantage of that as well in Star Wars with her hiring.
Oh, really? Oh, like, because if you hire certain people?
Well, because she's a part of the American Film Institution, which is an institution made by the United States government, which is essentially like a slush fund. But it allows them to bring people from foreign countries who are in performative arts, drama, acting, like actual film acting, not just stage drama acting and things like that. And Kathleen Kennedy is the chairman of the board of the American Film Institution, and she runs Lucasfilm. So she is. Lucasfilm is racking in tens of millions of dollars by shitting on Star Wars.
Oh, okay, well, this makes sense why the animation studios aren't going under either, because they're
getting so much money from the government by making shit.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, that's.
I would like to see this documentation.
Well, it's American Film Institution, made by Reagan and Kennedy. You just Google Kennedy American Film Institute.
No,
AFI.
I meant the legislation that was passed.
Oh yeah, me too. I would show me so I can try to do this.
No, I don't want to do it.
No,
I just want to expose it, because
No, you
obviously,
can totally like hack the system. You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of what they've been doing the past, I don't know, 50
Yeah.
years or whatever. Like,
well,
float in some shit.
Obama was only in how long ago now?
Well, I
8
think he
years
was the finishing touches.
6.
He was the well. Actually, I think Hillary was supposed to be the finishing touches, but he was the one who. I think it started in '99, but all of a sudden, in the early 2000s, movies just started to get real bad.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like Steve Mnuchin, he would have a firm, and his firm would make 48 movies. They would fund 48 movies all at once, and you're like, why are you doing that? And then by proxy of what is that, like 4 or 5 years ago, it took us that long to figure out what they're doing. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, they hide it, don't they?
Yeah.
Hide it through
Well, they put so
legalese.
much bullshit out there, and like a lot of this stuff gets stuffed in a larger, like it's like the $1 trillion funding thing, and it's like, oh, what can we attach? What can we put onto that? Pin that onto that.
Yeah.
And they voted through, and yeah, I mean, like you hear about the shit that they have to read before they vote on anything, and you're like,
It's like
1,000
400
pages.
Yeah,
like shit. We're just like, no one's gonna fucking know. No one's
Well,
gonna
what
know.
I think what is so bad is American entertainment had to suffer for them.
Well, they will
Like,
fucking
we had to
suffer because
suffer
they're
while
not
they did
making
this.
money. Like that's the thing. It's like they fuck themselves over double because it's like they're making shit people don't want to see, and then they're putting all these like caps on how you can see it, like because of this whole COVID situation.
Yeah.
We're just like, you fucked yourself twice, you know? Like, and honestly, I feel like it's just given anyone who has an independent stream or anything, like even more value. Like it's yours for the taking. Like it's out there. People sitting at home, just take it up.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if
and I will pay you in crypto to do it for me.
Yeah.
$50 in Ethereum, guys.
I'm wondering if this is not the OG Elmer Fudd that.
Whoa, yes, that's
No, that was a different Elmer Fudd. You better not click on that.
That El Gargo was referring to. Well, it's kind of funny because in the tags up here, this is white. Like the first.
Well, I thought
the
he
first
was
suggestion's white for Elmer.
Yeah,
Fudd.
I thought he looked like the guy with the axe on their top right-hand corner.
No, it's
Yes,
the guy.
yeah,
it's
that's
the
what
guy
I-
in the middle,
that's what I
actually.
thought.
It's the guy in the
Yeah.
middle. Yeah, with the suit. Top
No,
middle.
so yours is the shotgun. I remember the guy with the battle axe, which is clearly, the ore axe or whatever the hell.
Oh, this.
Chip and rock.
This look here. This one.
Yeah,
and then
that's
this
what
guy over here.
But if you go to the one below it with the scythe, that's the most recent one.
This one.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Scythe.
the new series that they're doing.
They
at
took
Warner
his
Brothers.
gun away and they gave him a scythe.
Yeah.
And they
Oh.
gave Bugs like the yellow glove look.
Yeah, they gave him
again.
the yellow gloves because they were trying to recapture sort of like that old school feel. Because
What?
Peter Brown can't actually come up with anything original anymore. So
Wow.
ever
I
since
had no idea.
ever since
I knew
Uncle
they took
Grandpa.
away the gun.
so-
I knew
Well,
I
yeah.
heard the language of them taking
Well, they
away
ended
the
up
gun.
giving the gun back to him at the end of it. So
Oh,
I kind of consider Chuck Jones era like the best of the whole.
Oh
thing.
yeah, Chuck
Like,
Jones is fucking maestro.
like
Best
those
music
those
as well.
characters, the designs, those episodes. That to me is like the golden era of Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
So
I showed what was it? I showed Idris for the first time something the other day, and then I showed her Last Airbender, and she just like sat the cartoon Last Airbender.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll
she
send it.
just, like, she just like watched it, like 7 or 8 episodes in a row.
Yeah, Last Airbender is really good, but the
Yeah.
sequel, Legend of Korra, is actually dog shit.
I
Yeah,
kind
I've
of like
only-
the first season of
Was it
that
like-
one.
How many seasons are there for the cartoon?
Well, I think there's
For Airbender, there was 3.
Yeah,
3.
And
Yeah, I've
then
only seen the
for-
first 2.
I
then.
think for
I've only-
Korra there's 2 maybe.
There's 4.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The first one I thought was actually all right. The second one redid the whole backstory of it, and it added in this whole new element. It was just shit. And then like it just kept going worse and worse like as it went on. Like it undid basically what The Last Airbender put in place, which made it so compelling. It's like, oh, all of a sudden the spirit world erupts and there's a bunch of airbenders made out of nowhere. So then it becomes like the charge of Aang's son to train them. Whereas there was only him and his family. That was all that was left of them, you know, like the small core group as a holdover. But they threw it all in the trash, dude. And it was such it's kind of in that middling era. They were looking at pushing more progressive agenda, like moving forward. But the animation studios at the time were still not completely on board. Like, so they got like this compromise thing that they would do in between.
Well, I think something had to clearly go wrong with that intellectual property because it fell off the map. And
well, part of it was that the James Cameron film Avatar came out.
Really?
And so that was that was a bit of a conflict because they're both called Avatar.
Wow,
and so
good call.
When Legend, no, that was actually a thing in the industry.
Yeah,
like,
good call. And James Cameron has big balls in America, so
yeah, and because that was the thing, because I think it was at the same time that I was trying to make that.
I never thought about that.
You gonna let me finish my sentence here?
No, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. I was like, wow.
Well, the other thing is, no, that's all legit because at the same time, it was that live action Avatar Last Airbender film was coming out by M. Night. And they had to change the name because it was in conflict with James Cameron.
So they just called it like Last Airbender or something like that, right?
Basically,
I completely that makes total sense what you said, Luke. In respect to, I mean, because that guy is a billionaire in his own right. Cameron is, so his weight would totally quash that. And that kind of would that make sense why the movies sucked?
Which ones?
The actual live action? Would that make sense why they... Because I didn't like it.
They suck because M. Night Shyamalan doesn't know what
Whoa, did he do?
Yeah, he was the director.
Oh my god, I didn't even know.
Yeah. And it was the Avatar films that like destroyed his reputation.
Well, one, I never like M. Night Shyamalan, so I hate those... Bad Robot.
Oh yeah,
Star Trek. What's his name? They know how to start something. They have no fucking idea how to finish it.
Yeah, well that's
no clue. No clue.
Good old JJ.
Yeah, JJ.
Abrams.
Jar Jar. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Jar Jar.
Well, no, he's always about the mystery box. The thing is, he never wants to open the mystery box. He never wants to give the payoff.
I can't believe they like signed on. Like that's one of the things that's like the hardest thing to like. You would think if you were given the responsibility of like let's make the next trilogy of Star Wars films, you think you would know like whatever you're gonna talk about in the first one, you'd have wrapped up by the third one, right? Whereas with him, it was just like, no, we're just gonna put all this shit in there and like we'll just figure it out. And then they cut him from the creative team. Brought in Rian Johnson, and he's like, yeah, I kind of feel like following all this old hat shit is just like too hokey, and
that's not what happened at all.
No, what happened? Tell me.
What happened was, JJ did the first film, and he was like, I'll do the first film, and then I'll just leave it, because one of the things was when the executives were coming in, when they were developing it, like the concept art and stuff like that. Executives will come in, look over the concept artist's shoulders and be like, "Oh, that looks really, really great. Can you change this to make it look like a toy?" And JJ didn't like that at all. And so he was like, get out. You know what I mean? He wanted very much full control. And so Kathleen because Kathleen's such a fucking, control freak, being a woman. She was like, well, she doesn't like sharing power, and so she brings in Rian Johnson, who's whatever. He's a weak little moon-faced yes man, and Kathleen's like, do it like this, right? Because there was that script that leaked out that actually was a lot different and a lot better than the film that we ended up getting for the second film. And that's because Kathleen was telling Rian to make all these changes, do all this stuff, and Rian was like, "Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say, ma'am," because he wanted to get paid. He wanted that sweet cash. And so, of course, that threw out all the sort of the roadmap that JJ had. And so when it flopped, Kathleen went crawling back to JJ. I assume she went crawling back to JJ and said, "Can you fix this?" And JJ's like, I mean, I can try.
Yeah.
How do you remold something that? Yeah, like how do you remold?
Well, I want to point out something about J.J. Abrams and his production company, Bad Robot. He is one of the handful of producers who get all of the money up front.
Yeah.
And so once he started getting, I guarantee you, once Kathleen Kennedy started to walk all over him, he's like, "Okay,
I'm out."
You know, like fucking shit on my movie.
But that's the thing. Like that's the thing with Lucasfilm and Kathleen. Like she's fired so many directors, good directors, right? And like a lot of people have quit, and it's because she's not a good leader. She's difficult to work with, right? So I think maybe JJ was like, "Yeah, I'm not putting up with this if she's gonna, fuck with me." So but it's conjecture. Obviously, you'd have to have been there, but
no, I totally agree with, because if you want, I agree with your conjecture. I agree with your speculation in respect to his attitude, because if you listen to his interviews, after the first movie came out and when we were basically moving on to the third one, he was basically okay with stating out loud that there was no plan. Like he literally said there was no plan. And so that makes like why would he say that? And so certain producers in Hollywood just they can say what they want. There's no repercussions, and they can act a certain way in Hollywood because they know they're like Spielberg is an example. Does what he wants, and there's a bunch of other ones who they just literally run it like a fucking what's that movie with him where they play the mafia and the mafia are making the movies? Get Shorty. It's just like Get Shorty. Yeah. And I feel like J.J. Abrams, not necessarily like it's Get Shorty with guns, killing people, pushing them over ledges, but he has the attitude where, I mean, this is like, I think hundreds of millions of dollars that they're.
I think when he said that is that he did not want to be held responsible for the shit show that trilogy was. Just like everyone else is just like, yeah, they really didn't know. Like we were getting character changes all the time. Like everyone threw that third film under the bus because they were put in the position of non-recovery. It was like they got rid of Snoke in the second film. Huge mistake. Like this was supposed to be the newest big bad, and like even beyond anything we've ever seen in terms of like evil force wielders, where he's like throwing a dude down on deck, through like a transmission, going on in the second movie, and then he gets killed at the end. And I felt like there was something salvageable they could have done with it for the third film, but it's
like how.
What I would have done is just like expanded out. All right, well, we're not going to do a trilogy. We're going to do a quadrilogy. We're going to do 5. Like introduce like a Snoke, like relative or something like that, who is just like you killed Snoke, and like now you usurped the throne, like towards Kyle or what Kylo Ren, right? Like you fucking killed Kyle. My dad. You killed my dad, and now I'm going to come for you. And like we got this whole, because there's so many unexplained. What the fuck is the First Order? What is the Resistance? Like what is all this shit? And like it's like kind of like, okay, you could have introduced those elements into it and drawn up this bigger backstory that no one knew about, and it makes it even grander. They did really fuck up the whole like original cast not being in the same fucking movie. Like
Yeah.
that was something
Yeah.
like huge missed opportunity. And
You know
killing
what?
off
You know
Lucas
what they
Abad,
should have done? They should have mirrored A New Hope a little better, right? And it should have been like Luke could have been the role of Obi-Wan, right? Like the old guy passing on the torch, and
Yeah.
he dies, you know, in the first film, and so then they're like, oh shit, we're in deep shit now. Luke Skywalker's dead. What are we gonna do? You know?
So I
They
want
might as
to
well.
I
Like,
want to point out that Marvel just pushed back all of their movies,
Yeah.
and I caught a quick glimpse of the guy playing Doctor Strange, and he said that they are going back in for reshootings.
Oh.
And so that means this is going to be either the third or the fourth time they've gone back in for reshootings for Doctor Strange. And if they push back all the movies, that means you're going to the Marvels or whatever it was called and Black Panther. Those are the two that got pushed back as well. So I think they see the errors in their ways. They knew Eternals. They knew Black Widow and all these other ones are going to fail. The Hawkeye is releasing the first 2 episodes on the first day instead of just releasing episode 1 and waiting a week and getting episode 2. So I cannot fathom why you would do what you did with all of these movies.
Well, I wanted to fuck everything up, didn't I?
He's quitting? What does that mean? What do you mean he's quitting? I don't think he's quitting. I think they're going to give him a load of fucking cash.
Who's quitting? Oh, Tom. He is.
Yeah. I think Sony, because if you see what's happening with Sony, they completely redid Morpheus. What is it called?
Morbius.
Morbius, yeah, I said it right. They completely reshot like almost half that film, if I'm not mistaken. And they just released a trailer yesterday.
Yeah.
And it looked all right. And I think they're setting. It looked like they're adding Sinister Six, and I would like the director who's doing Doctor Strange to do more Marvel movies and stop the Chinese lady. Don't hire her again.
Stop, Chinese lady.
yeah.
Yeah. It was
Stop
like a
her now.
Miss Marvel was like a Pakistan lady doing Miss Marvel or something. What is it? Like, what are you guys doing?
They're checking boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Getting that government money. Government cuts.
So
God,
don't worry,
it looks
it'll
so
blow.
bad.
It'll blow up in their face. They'll find out. They'll figure out that.
Yeah, it'll blow up in their face. Look at this guy on set. Blow
Yeah.
up in their face.
It's gonna blow up in the face, isn't it? They
You
don't
want an
know what
accident
they're
to
gonna
happen,
do.
would you? Would you?
You know what would be amazing if they made all of Phase 4 first, 5 or 6 movies completely abysmal, and then all of a sudden, like at the end of Miss Marvel, like Carol Danvers is in the hospital bed, and you see a girl touch her,
Oh,
and it
Rogue.
fucking ends like that. And then all of a sudden, Fantastic Four is amazing, X-Men is amazing, goddamn, because they're doing Adam Warlock. So I'm not a fan of British actors, but that guy they hired to do Adam Warlock,
Is British.
he's a good fucking actor.
Okay.
But he's a young looking dude, so that means they're gonna have Adam Warlock as being like a fucking teenager or a young 20-year-old.
Speaking of casting and how they're doing like anime live action adaptations,
Mm-hmm.
I had a thought the other day, and hear me out. Are you familiar with My Hero Academia?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, hear me out. Midoriya could be the lead from Dune, Timothy Chalamet. Right? No?
No, wait,
So
hold
what do
on.
you? What do
Oh,
you?
talk.
Hold on one second.
You guys keep interrupting each other.
I know, no. I'm looking him up because I want to see how old he is because I feel like he's gonna be too old to do the part by the time.
I think he
No,
looks
no,
young enough.
no,
He could do it.
No. Well, no.
He's got the hair for it. All right, that's my
he
first one
does.
for Midoriya. All right, the second one is The Rock for All Might.
The Rock.
He would be perfect as All Might.
If they
Maybe.
got like a young, is there a young Italian? Is there a young good Italian?
A young good Italian. What? Where did that come from?
Because you said the dude from Dune, right? For My Hero Academia.
Timothy Chalamet, yeah, as the
Yeah,
lead,
Timothy,
as Midoriya.
I see what you're saying, like, but nah, like there has to be a younger person.
I'm surprised you knew that dude's name.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw June.
Well,
Dune
yeah,
was
but
great.
I didn't bother to look the guy up.
Uh,
I'd been like Paul, that guy who played Paul.
Oh well. Anyway, I think the better choice is probably
Oh,
The
wow.
Rock. The Rock as All Might.
Hold up. Let's look
I
at
think
some of
he would.
these
I think he would be
pictures here.
perfect. He's got like the perfect physique and kind of like He's always got that big smile on his face and he's got personality.
Even though everyone hates like John Cena right now, I think he would be a more ludicrous, like over like he's just like. I think. Is there any big action heroes besides those two guys that have muscles? The Aquaman guy.
Oh,
I like how he did it.
Jason Momoa.
Well, nah, he got a poked eye, and now he's complaining he has Wu flu.
Yeah.
Well, Dave Bautista they use a lot now anymore. The Rock.
The Rock could be perfect.
I mean, kind of anyone pro wrestling they typically use, but you can go to the bodybuilding like sphere. If they don't have to say a fucking word, like you can pull from anywhere.
Yes.
You know. And
Man, I can't believe you guys are like ignoring my perfect casting choices.
Well, you know,
no, I don't think it'll work, man.
You know,
I disagree.
Guy,
I think it's brilliant.
This guy, yeah, he could probably pull off.
Go to the one where he's wearing the red shirt,
with that wrist,
where he's wearing the black shirt and the blue shirt. Go to that image. Second row.
Second row.
Next to it.
This one.
Where you just were. No,
it just was.
The red shirt. The red shirt. Right next to
That's purple.
Yeah,
that's
look at that
burgundy.
hair. Oh, that's burgundy. All right, my screen's fucked. But...
Well, I'm Ron Burgundy.
Anyway, yeah. He has the hair look, but
I think he could do it.
Maybe. But I mean, the thing you have to think about is like, I don't think they could do it all in a movie. Sure, they could try.
They would cast a big, strong black guy.
It's kind of like Harry Potter anime in a way. Like it's like over years, like it's like an actual school. Like
I guess so.
Thing. It'd do better as a series. If you caught this guy, in his teens, yeah, sure.
You would have to entice. Do you know how hard it would be to get? I mean, Dune did a good job. I'm very proud of them for getting greenlit like they did. Like they didn't.
And you know what? That means a lot to them that they know that you're proud of them.
Well, yeah, thank you. But you get what I'm saying. The like, how hard is it to actually make a pretty? I'm not a fan of that little chick right there with the blue eyes.
Oh, Zendaya.
Yeah, she sounded good as a narrator, but as soon as she started to talk in the movie, I was like, yeah, it's like I got reminded of Spider-Man. And but she's hot as shit.
You're right. She is hot there. She's very hot there.
She's my height, probably short.
Yeah, she's like super hot there. But I mean, they're all short midgets, anyways.
But I didn't like her. I didn't like her actual voice speaking parts in the film of Dune. I felt like she didn't. She's like still in Spider-Man.
You know what I didn't like about June?
What?
June.
The
movie. The whole movie.
Ah, come on.
It was boring. And like
It-
I've read all the books. I've watched all the other previous June incarnations, and it just doesn't do anything new or different or interesting.
I think it would have done better as a series where like you could spike it up once in a while, because this thing was just like
Well, they
every
are
time
doing
a
a
scene
TV
goes
show.
somewhere interesting, it would like
They are.
languish.
They are.
Yeah, the most interesting thing is like the invasion part, and that lasts for all
No.
like 5 minutes.
All
Not
right.
even
So what
that.
they're doing is, all right. So they did this film, and the next thing that's going to come out is on HBO is going to be a TV show about the female Jesuits or whatever the fuck they're called.
Being
Finnish
Jesuits?
Yeah, the Beaner Jesuits. They
No, that's the name, dude. Why are you laughing?
Is it? Is it really?
Well, no, the proper pronunciation
the
is
Bene Jesuits.
Bene Jesuits. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it's like
okay.
white
Well,
Jesuits.
No,
or
they're
white
like
women Jesuits. But anyway, it's like a Mithraic order of females. But they're doing a TV show on HBO that's going to explain the mother coming up. So it's going to be a what do you call it? A epilogue.
well, she's the daughter of Lord Harkonnen. Anyway.
Yes, exactly. So there's going to be an epilogue of her having this bastard, or because it's a bastard child, because she's not queen. So there's
Well, I
gonna
mean,
be an
no,
epilogue.
she was. She's.
Jesus Christ! How
Yeah,
big
dude.
is that guy?
Whoa.
Him as All Might? I think that's what
Who was that guy?
What?
Tyler
in the
Maine. That's
world?
what
Oh, Tyler Maine.
El
No,
Gargoyle was.
I
They
don't-
need to
there
tire.
as-
That guy needs to be hired as.
Oh, he was
Sentry.
Sabretooth. And,
Oh, he was
he needs
Sabretooth,
to be
but
hired
he's
as
not.
Sentry.
He's not All Might. Like if you look at the Rock like All Might to a T. He just needs like a wig. You just put a wig on him.
Forehead.
This guy's like
Alright.
nothing like All
All
Might.
right, all right. Well,
You
he
know,
put up
them little
another
girls
name.
just want his hands. They're like, hey,
that
you got 5
Yeah,
of those phalanges.
might be enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
His fingers are probably the size of a thick 6-inch dick.
But
Just
there was some
saying.
story about like Andre the Giant where I was like, I don't know, like girls would put themselves up for that or not. Oh, Ethan Suplee, the fat guy from what was that movie? The football dudes. Hold on a second. I you all know what I'm talking about here.
No, I don't.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
Ethan Suplee. I think he was on the Titan. We Are the Titans, or Remember the Titans. But he was also like on the.
Oh, this guy.
He
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
mad weight. Yeah. I remember. He could do something. Does he still act?
You know what? He'd be a great fat gum.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what would be best is to cast him as the Blob.
Well, no, because he's all ripped now.
Well,
so
yeah, he's skinny
I know,
now.
so cast him as the Blob.
But they should have enough like shots of him from his early days. Like they could easily like do the transformation. You know, like
Yeah,
between it.
because fat gum has like 2 modes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved him in that movie where there was aliens and
Oh,
they
yeah.
killed him with
I love that
with
movie too.
Shampoo.
Yeah. Oh,
What the fuck was it?
Evolution.
Yes. That the black guy who was the basketball, the volleyball coach, and the guy from X-Files.
Yeah. David Duchovny.
David Duchovny. That's actually a great movie, and they should do a part 2.
That was just Ghostbusters, but with aliens.
That's fine. It was a great movie. I fucking love that movie. Did you ever see it, Lucius?
Evolution. I don't think so. Let me look it up and make sure. Well, you
So
know,
it's a
there's
big-
always watching something you haven't seen before. You know.
It's not worth it,
Yeah.
Lucius. Don't bother.
Yeah, so a meteorite or something lands, and then the aliens come out.
I'm not.
That
enticed by that.
redheaded chick, she's really hot from.
She's not. No.
She is hot.
No, she's not.
Where is she from?
I know who you're talking about. She's not
Hannibal? Is she
Yeah.
from Hannibal?
Yes, she is.
I remember from a movie with, was it Antonio Banderas?
She's in a lot of movies, dude.
What is her name? I'm not very fond of redheads, but she's a cute.
Her name is Miss Redhead.
Hmm.
That's her name.
You know,
Orlando
Google's at
Jones.
everyone's fingertips right now. Like you
The
guys-
internet,
Yeah.
But what's the point if we can try to like goof off or
If you can just throw it on my shoulder.
riff
right?
off the discussion? Bro, this movie right here is fucking hilarious.
I hate this movie.
Shut up.
It's terrible.
No way. Julianne Moore. She's hot. One of the few red. Well, I mean, I don't know anymore.
That's from
Anyway,
2001.
This conversation is taking a dive.
No, it's. But anyway, this
Wow.
movie is very decent. It's a one-off. Fucking hilarious. It has the dude Stifler
Yeah.
from American Pie,
John
and he
Williams
does
Scott,
fantastic.
Is John Cena in it?
No.
No.
HBO is doing a John Cena show
What's it called?
with that fucking stupid character that he plays.
John
Oh.
Cena.
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
What is it?
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yeah.
Oh.
He's getting. So HBO, I mean, it seems like they know they fucked up with. God. there's too
What's
many
up with
things we're
you,
talking
Jay
about.
Dollar? You're just like, you're really spacing out today. You okay? You just tired?
Yeah.
It's too much shit to remember these days, man.
Yeah, man. Let's just chill out, Jay Dollar. Let's not rack our brains about stupid shit.
All right. Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's the best.
I'm
Haha.
McAuliffe.
So, you know, I found this
That's
funny.
hilarious. I'll be back and I'll get you, Charlie. If it's the last thing I do.
Yeah. This is a great Babylon Bee meme. You know, all this bullshit around the.
Pookie baby.
I mean, governor elections are like now national news. That's crazy. I'm actually in Virginia, so I got these fucking ads
Oh.
nonstop on YouTube, dude. They drove me fucking nuts. Like it was like every commercial break. It was this, and like there was a Muppet thing where it's like
Oh, Jesus.
they had a jingle where it's like we all care about our neighborhood except for Larry who doesn't vote, and it was just like this one like white dude who's like what, and then like all the little Muppet people and they're like housing looking at him like motherfucker, you brought the whole place down by not voting. I was like, fuck these fucking ads, man. They were nonstop. Like everything like I would get on YouTube was there was a Barack Obama one where he was pushing this dude. I ignored all of it just because like after a point, dude, it's just like too much. It's
Yeah.
too fucking much.
So
And-
what? You're in Virginia. What's the deal with Virginia seceding? Like, what's going on with that?
It's not going to
Succeeding? Yeah, that's never
So-
gonna happen, dude. What?
No. I mean, it might not happen, but what was the talk about it? Like, was
There's
it West
talk. I mean,
Virginia,
listen.
or-
There's talk about all sorts of things. Just because of like,
propaganda.
yeah, you have strong blue areas, strong red areas, and they think like, oh, and it's just like, do you realize there's like nuclear missile silos like all over the place in America? Like they're just gonna like give it up, and they fought over much less things in the
Sure.
past, like as far as succession goes.
Well,
More than likely, the northern region is largely so around DC. There's a huge number of government subcontractors. These are just people hired out by the government, do the stuff. You have a lot of people who are supplemental to this area from New York, Pennsylvania, kind of
You were in a
northeastern.
train.
Yeah, and they just come in to take up these government jobs. I mean, essentially, they're government jobs. You're talking about like this area has never seen like when times are hard. It was never hard here because government was always fueling more and more stuff here. Department of Homeland Security expanded things very, very largely around here. Every time there's a new program, a new thing, like it just means more and more jobs around here. And so,
very largely? Is that?
Yeah. I mean,
something else, maybe like immensely.
yes, You break out your thesaurus, fresher Luke. Look down on me from your
No,
English
it's
language.
just you could have said one word instead of two. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, shut your mouth.
Massively.
But it's grown big time since George W. days. And
all they had to get. So what happened? So Virginia is controlled by three really popular areas. Northern Virginia, the Alexandria
Southern
region,
Virginia, Western
Northern
Virginia.
Virginia, the Alexandria region, and Hampton Roads, which is 7 cities. Is Virginia, Portsmouth, or Virginia Beach, Virginia, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake, and like 1 or 2 others, and Richmond, and those are the 3 most populous areas. And what they were able to do is completely just take over those 3 most populous areas, because the rest of fucking Virginia is just farmland, military contractor area, and business contracting.
Are you really Mexican, Lucius?
No, he's not. He's white. He's white.
No. I am completely Mexican. Mexican. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Let me check. Do you like tacos?
Yes. Sí.
All right.
Sí, señor.
Okay, that's
Sí.
the first one. Second question. Do you like burritos?
Sí, señor.
All right, final question. Are you a fan of Speedy Gonzalez?
Sí, arriba.
Ah, there you go. You're not
Andre.
Mexican. You liar. Every white American knows that Mexicans are offended by Speedy Gonzalez.
He always won. He always won.
He always did. I always liked that character. I thought he was cool.
Oh shit.
So are you in Northern Virginia, Lucius?
I'm in Northern Virginia, so I know what you're talking about. Fairfax County, Loudoun County, those are like right up against DC, and they're like super populous. And I remember when I was covering the last election, because it's like Virginia tilts red until you count all the votes from these 2
it's red
places.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And it's kind of like bullshit, because it's like, I don't know, 80% of the state's red, probably, as far as land mass, but just these areas where it's concentrated, but they have all the population. And like I said, it's all government subcontracting. These are people who are transplanted from outside of state. It's completely different kind of dynamics. So if there was talk of secession, that would probably be why, because it's just like they're at
talk of secession.
There's I don't think there is, but I could understand if there was, because it's like you're completely different realities.
Well, you would have to. So the United States is under a trust, and there is no. You can add a state far easier than you can ever break a state from the United States. There's just no way possible.
Well, that might be how they mean it. Just like West Virginia used to be part of Virginia.
Yeah, you can add a state. You can totally add, but taken away, good luck. You saw what happened with the Civil War.
Yeah.
Try it, bro.
That went well for everyone, I think.
Well, actually, it did. It fucking did.
Yeah. Both sides
totally
won.
did.
Everyone won. Nobody died. It was great.
Well, it was far better than what went on in Europe and Britain at the time.
True.
Because we can go from Waterloo, we can go from the destruction of Prussia, we can start, the death of Franz. We can go with the when the Spanish Empire, El Español after Colombia got the crown of Jerusalem back. I mean, there's so many like crazy shit. But I mean, to be honest with you, American media is the most disgusting. What happened with Britain in the early 90s and the late 80s has nothing what's gone on in America in the last 20 years or so. Like, it's insane. Like, none of the American media is for America.
Well, that's always been the case, though.
Well, so
No, that's true. At least in the early 2000s, like living in Australia.
yeah, like I said, the last 20
looking
years.
from.
Yes.
All right, last 20. All right, there you go.
Yes.
But I would say even before that, like in the 80s and the 90s as well. Like
I think it started to seed itself then. I think
No,
it
I mean-
came out
No,
in
no.
the 2000s. Yeah.
no, even
95.
because look, you got to take it from someone who was looking from the outside in.
Mm.
I remember even like at least in the 90s, like the media was like constantly like trying to set up like narratives and lying and misrepresenting and like not reporting on stuff that was important. The only difference is now today we have the internet, so now
Do you remember seeing like these old school CNN like live from the Gulf Coast, and they're like outside like a Florida hotel, or
Yeah.
like they're in like a studio setup, and they're like, yeah, we're right here. There's stuff going on. And you're like, that is totally a set. That is nowhere near anywhere
yeah.
relevant. I would have thought 9/11 was probably like, I mean, the country came together in a way I don't think I've ever seen it anywhere else in my life. Like, it was just like a touchstone point. That's the last time I saw solidarity. But it unraveled.
Well, so I forget who said the quote exactly, but one of the most promising things that come out from the villains anyway is every time something substantial happens, the enemy always benefits more than the event that's going on. So like you just said, like, yeah, we got together, but like what they were able to do with the Patriot Act, oh my God, dude. It made us almost like we're fighting at 1776, 1782 again. It's literally like that 6-year period. I mean, it's fucking rough. And I couldn't imagine. So I live in Alabama, and I am between two major Army bases and another base. I forget what it is off the top of my head. But the amount of activity that's been going on the last 2 or 3 months, every fucking day, Chinooks, Black Hawk helicopters. I mean, every single day there is something flying over our house.
Jay Della, does that mean that you're based?
I used to live on bases.
So
I grew up on bases.
You're based. You literally are based.
That's true. My dad was a military police officer.
Oh.
In the Navy.
One of those shitheads, huh? Enforcing the rules on everybody.
I am a Navy brat through and through. And that's my dad's his chief hat is right here. So.
That's cool.
Put it on, man.
Fuck, it's in a glass case that he made. Oh. There's no way I'm taking that out. No way. The way he made it, one day I'll take it down. I'll show you. There's no way, unless you break it, there's no way to get it open with how he made it.
So you should only break it in case of an emergency.
And I want to be a chief.
Yeah. You're like, oh shit. We need a chief right now. Quick,
it's Fallout.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a bat with nails, a chief hat, and my radio and my rad pack.
Good stuff.
And Skeletor.
You know, I missed you, J Dollar. It's just been me and Lucius for the last couple of streams.
Yeah. The end of the month is Heather works so long.
Yeah.
Like the last week and a half, 2 weeks at the end of the month each month. So.
Oh. Have you guys
yeah, I've
watched
seen these.
any of this?
What the hell is that?
So this is
Sigourney Weaver, but she's in this is
Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, these were a bunch of short films that he did.
Well,
some of them are good, some of them are shit. But
yeah, I think so. For me, I liked Raqqa, which is this one here. It was all right.
It was.
I like Firebase.
Zygot's probably the best one out of all.
Zygote, yes, and actually, I fucking give that major props for just the monster design. Hold on a second, I'm going to share my other screen here. they don't really explain too much about, like, it just seems kind of almost like Sunshine. Like
Yeah.
they're on a space station base and somebody sees something and it puts a psychosis on them.
Wait,
And
are we talking about Zygote?
yeah. Like
No,
Sunshine.
in Zygote, it's like, I think the idea is like when a certain light gets cast in their eyes, it's like
Yeah, exactly.
they become infected. It's like whatever
Yeah.
is infected.
Yeah, but did you
has
see
traveled through the
Sunshine?
light beam.
Sunshine with
I did see
Crystal.
Sunshine.
Yeah,
That's
where the
that's a
like where the
different
first. Yeah, but the dude on the first thing that they send goes crazy
Yes.
because he's staring at the sun. That's what I meant. It's like they kind of go over it, but they don't go too deep into it. But I fucking love this monster design that they do, where it's like a bunch of human bodies, like on
Yeah.
top of one another, and it just looks so like original. Like I'm so tired of like generic, like alien, kind of thing, and it's just like an amalgamation of all like the corpses of human bodies. This thing
Yeah,
is
it's like
consumed.
in Marvel, it's the mini angled one or something like that.
And like this thing is like trying to like incorporate everybody on some level, and like it's trying to get through like security checkpoints because this is like all the bodies of everyone that's come before it, and so like it'll be like one hand after another, like on the palm
Yes,
print
I know.
sensors and
I've
shit.
seen it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, this is a series to check out. There are some really like shit ones in it. I watched them with my girlfriend, but those were like the three standouts.
Did you bang
For
afterwards?
me.
Bang, bang, bang.
No, it is not that kind of watching. You aren't gonna watch
Bang
it. You're
during
like,
the weird amorphosis
did
hand
you?
things.
Did I?
Yeah, did you bang a lady after this? Like you just.
No, that actually turned me off from banging.
So the Cooking with Bill one is pretty shit. The God Serengeti one is shit. The Bad President one is shit.
So the
Adam one.
Have you seen episode 1 of Adam?
No. Where would you find that one?
So the interesting thing about the Adam series, it's actually all done in Unity. The first one was to showcase its real-time render engine. Like everything in Adam is all done in real time, rather than it being rendered out normally through a 3D engine. Like you know what Unity is?
No, I assumed it was like the Polar Express.
No,
thing,
in game development you have different game engines, and there's one particular one called Unity, which is it's free to use online. Like you don't have to pay fees, because normally with game engines like say Unreal Engine, you got to pay like $30,000 or something for the rights to be able to use it, and usually they're pretty powerful. They come with a lot of tools, but Unity is like open source, kind of almost like Blender.
Okay.
And so it's been going through all these updates, and so I think Adam episode 1 was like a tech demo, and it's worth seeing it. I think it's on YouTube actually.
Okay.
We could probably bring it up, but then they made like even more episodes, and then I guess they kind of stopped at episode 3. So
yeah, I thought this was worth checking out.
Yeah.
If anyone would be interested. If you're a sci-fi nerd of some sort, that's for you.
Yeah.
And I was kind of on that page. What happened to J Dollar here?
He's got a piss and smoke. So it's
Oh.
the Lucius and Luke podcast now.
There we go. You know, I was thinking about just making it that way anyway.
Just put him in the back room. Put him in the back room.
All right. Getting rid of this. The only thing you can see. We're gonna do that. Boom.
It's not really a podcast if you've got this thing that you can see.
Not to mention, we're just hearing like the warblings of like something in the back there.
Yeah. So what else shall we discuss while J-Della is away and he's not interrupting us, Lucius?
Well, I was going to ask you both, but since he left, have you ever been? Have you ever studied the Bible? Have you ever at least been into the iconography or anything of like what they talk about?
Sure.
In the Bible, you have. Okay.
Well,
so
I grew up Christian. So.
Okay. This was something that I came across, and I was like, I don't know how real this is or whatever. and it's supposed to be. This
the angel. I
is-
saw this.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't remember this description, but maybe. So it says obsessed with this biblically accurate angel. I'm not. I hope it doesn't play the audio. The audio really, I think, kind of sucks on this, but
Yeah.
maybe it's of importance. But it's more the visuals than anything. Here, let's go that. But I mean, it does look trippy. I'll give it that. Like if I were doing sci-fi angel, this would be kind of the thing I might go for.
Sure.
I don't know if you ever saw, what was the thing with Natalie Portman?
I know what you're talking about.
Alex, what was the name? Alex Garland or something like that.
Yeah, I know the film. It's
I'm looking it up now. Oh, Google suggest Annihilation.
yeah.
And they had an alien at the end of the movie, and Alex Garland. This was something me and Rot were going to get into last year, and we touched on. We went over some of the dev series, which was Alex Garland's baby. We were going to go into Ex Machina, which I thought was a great fucking film.
Oh yeah,
and something really worth of discussing. There's a book I read. It's kind of like a pop science one, but worthy of reading for anybody who has a passing interest. Called, I think it's The Most Human. Let me double check that real quick. It's about the Turing test and essentially how there's been this contest year by year. The Most Human. Let me see what Talking with Computers teaches us about what it means to be alive. But Brian Christian, I read this and it kind of gives an overview of like their Turing test history, the evolution of how they've done this whole thing, chatbots, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And the test is supposed to be where you have real humans. I think they pick 5.
Yes.
And they have 5 computers that are supposed to simulate humans. And you talk to all of them like in a chat version of things. Like think of AOL Instant Messenger text-based thing. And based off of that, you're supposed to say who's the most human. Who do you think is human? Who do you think is not human?
Yeah, you can boil it down. The Turing test is basically a person has a conversation over a computer with 2 individuals. One is a computer, like supposedly an AI. The other is a real human. And if the user who's having the conversation cannot tell which is which, then that AI has passed the Turing test.
Right. And but at the end of this whole thing that they do, it's like an annual competition.
Yeah.
They vote on who's the most human, and that's a person like who people just right off the bat like they knew was human. And like in the first one, it was like the guy who just like his strategy was, I'm just going to be a jerk to people because no one would program being a jerk on a computer.
Yeah.
And so he won the first one. But there's all sorts of ways where it's like, who do you think exemplified human the most? And there's all sorts of things. Like it's really interesting to actually read upon. Let's bring back in Jay Dahl. He's back.
He's back.
But yeah, Ex Machina dives into a lot of that if you watch the film, where it's just like kind of like, do you remember when you chose to be heterosexual or homosexual or whatever? Like, do you remember picking your sexuality out or why you liked the girl that you liked? Can you say why you did?
And it's wanted like, pussy.
No, well, yeah, ultimately that would be, I think, the main drive.
Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of like, can you really say why you did? And then it's kind of like, no, I can't. It's like, so are you really in control of who you are? Sort of thing. So it's a cool.
How are you bringing this back to the whole 3D rendering of biblical accurate angels?
I have no idea.
And
we talked for so long.
You started there, and then you kind of went off on this strange path, and I was like, okay,
maybe he's going
creation. Somewhere with this.
Maybe it's about creation. Oh, well, we went on this. So, in Annihilation,
yes,
Alex Garland puts up this alien at the end of the movie.
Yes.
And his whole thing was like making it truly alien.
Yes.
Like it wasn't even supposed to, because so many aliens that you see have at least like our limbic system in a way.
Yeah.
Like they might have a tail, they might have like a extended head or something weird, longer claws, less
But they're
digits,
still
whatever.
bipedal-ish.
Right,
like,
right.
yeah.
And so his whole thing was like, what would it be to be something so alien you couldn't even recognize it? So that was one of the films we were watching, and I was like, yeah, dude, like it was kind of, when you get to the end point, you're just like, it doesn't communicate in any standard way. Like you kind of watch it and you're wondering, what the fuck am I watching? Like when it gets to that point, like the final scenes of it, and it like terraforms, I guess you'd say. It warps the entire biology and ecology of the area that it's in when it's there. Like it is truly alien, and like it's kind of like, at least I think if you're a creator, if you're looking to do creation storytelling, it's something to watch and try to get something out of, because it's trying to be different. I could say, like, way outside the realms of what the norm is. You know.
Well, there's some theories about where that idea or the imagery of that sort of strange multi-eyed ringed angel comes from.
So what's that? Oh, and I'll play it for oh shit.
We're gonna play it again for
down.
J-Dog.
Close it down. Hold on a second. Well, go on. I'll pull it back up here.
Oh, well,
Yes.
the idea is that the people who wrote the Bible and seeing these visions, they were like high as fuck. They'd taken some kind of naturally occurring narcotic, and so they were seeing all these almost DMT-like visions and
Yeah.
writing them down and describing them, and they didn't really have any kind of understanding like we have today of sort of psychology and stuff like that.
Do you?
And so they just assumed it was visions of the end of times or visions of an angel or something, right? Like the understanding of the world was limited.
Imagine fasting for like a week or so, or if you didn't have food for a week or so, but you had access to ephedra.
Yeah.
You had access to weed or
Kush,
and opium.
Yeah.
And so through study tests and DNA analysis and radio analysis of the materials, that's what they would do, man. They would fucking, it'd be I could only imagine what that was like hot boxing ephedra, opium, and hemp.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what medicine men still do even to this day, like the shamans and so forth. Like,
or my bedroom.
Oh, your bedroom. You know,
Hey.
you kind of have that frequency going, which causes a vibration. You input yourself into, say, like, a kind of like sweat state or hotbox to sort of like, I'm not sure how it works, but you take the substance and then you kind of hallucinate in some way.
Yeah, they would just hotbox the room. You would be in a you would be in just essentially like a clay dome that was only for these sessions, smoke sessions, as they ended up being called.
Yeah.
Or
divining sessions.
Yeah.
So to say.
Smoke session, hotbox. But it's just OG hotboxing.
Yeah.
And what the hell do you keep showing us?
Oh, well, this is what I was asking about, Luke. I was going to ask you too if you knew your Bible well enough to say, this is a biblically accurate angel, because that's what this is supposed to be.
Yes and no. It looks more like a DMT truth.
No. So, like in the apocryphal books, angels are, especially like demons, so to speak. If you're looking at it like the Talmud / Babylonian perspective, they're just like aches and pains, like a fucking toothache, a stomach ache. So I mean, you're it's the conversation would have to get super esoteric, and then you would, and that would just be a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah,
let's not.
But so angels and demons, other than superstitions, are pains, ailments, hotboxing, opium, like we were just saying, things like that. It's the ignorance. It's just ignorance.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that we're talking about this because pull up my shared screen.
Will do.
Here we go.
And do you guys have HBO?
I do.
I have
Yeah.
seen a few episodes of this.
Watch this show. It's extremely esoteric.
It got boring.
It has a lot of filler, like 4 episodes of filler.
I think it was around episode 4 or episode 5. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm done.
Are you recommending this?
So I recommend it if so, like, when I say to you esoteric, what do you think in your head? When I say that?
I feel like it's really heady. Like it's something where like you have to have a lot of knowledge to appreciate like what's going on.
It's old knowledge, oratical or oration of knowledge passed down. That like like the Old Testament was written around 300 to 400 AD, or specifically 400 AD, because of many things. But this show, there's not many shows. I was looking for one earlier that I watched on Amazon yesterday, by Oscar Wilde, directed by Ben something or another, a Scottish British guy. And that's an extremely esoteric story. It's about John the Baptist and Namoli, whatever her name is. And because what's his face of Judea at the time, Harold II was so in love with his wife's stepdaughter that he offered John the Baptist's head on a platter for her to dance for him. And it's Salome's Last Dance, Oscar Wilde, 1980 something. I'm just trying to pull it out in my head. So anyway, it's the only, you want to talk about good stories. So it's a story that's based on Oscar Wilde writing a play done in a brothel house during the late 1800s, done by the brothel maids in the house, directed by the lord or the housemaster of the prostitutes. It's fucking amazing. It's so I watched it when I was before I was 18 years old. I can't tell you how many times I probably jerked off to it, but watching it now, like, it's Salome's Last Dance, Salome Last Dance, Salome's Last Dance, and
those are some extra siblings that your kids missed out on.
Yeah. Shh. And but anyway, but it's about John. So it's about Oscar, and so at the end of the movie, Oscar Wilde, this is when he technically gets arrested for so it's like how would you explain what that story is? So it's about Oscar Wilde doing a play, doing the film, and then he gets arrested at the end, and they all end up laughing because they end up killing one of the prostitutes in there, and they're just rich and they'll just get out of jail. And that's what's so funny about it, because that's Britain in the 1800s. You can kill prostitutes, man. And
Australia in current day,
and like today, and Boris Johnson. But anyway, that's a good movie.
Oh, jeez.
But the reason why I bring up Raised by Wolves is because at the end, the AI, the chick, she's the artificial intelligence. She has a baby, and she ends up having the Don't leave, Lucius. I'm telling you an esoteric story.
He's just muting himself.
Are you there?
Yeah, dude. That's usually for opening up a can or something like that.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I don't want you to miss it, because she ends up so she is
I kind of felt that plot twist was a bit of a Deus Ex Machina.
Well, I think what they're doing is they're doing the Aurora Borealis, or whatever it's called, like the snake that eats its own tail.
The Ouroboros?
Ouroboros. So
not the Aurora Borealis is completely different, J-Dollar.
But you get my point. And,
one is a snake, the other one is lights in the sky.
So what it is he will end up, I think the snake will mature and be something else if I understand what the story is telling you. And I hope Rotten Glory comes back. I miss him.
But there's a season 2 of this, though, right?
Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out.
Oh, it's
That's
coming
why I
out.
bring it up.
Well, I guess that was gonna be one of my questions, because is the idea being, because I caught a little bit of that where, you know, she finds like the embryo inside her, and she's conversing with that medical android.
Yeah.
And then she realizes, oh, you know, it's actually like an embryo. Is the idea that it's like a hybrid between, you know, a biological human and a machine that she is?
Well, yeah, but what it is it's destruction. It's a never-ending destruction. Like Dan has the ampersand on his thumb. It's so whoever writes this story, I know it's a Jewish person, I think, and someone else.
I think it's just Ridley Scott. I think, yeah.
But
way to just characterize people like that.
Well, if they're Jewish.
Yeah,
but exactly. You get what I'm saying. So what it is it's about this is about AI's technocracy through AI control trying to raise humans, and they fuck up. And she ends up having an embryo, like Luke was saying, and I think it's essentially an anachronism. Like it's
anachronism.
It's an anachronism that's going to like there.
Wait,
I feel like that.
How is it an anachronism?
Isn't that what it is?
No, an anachronism is if something is outside of its especially a person to practice outside of its own being. So that's what. Yes.
So that's kind of what I'm saying.
Outside of its time frame or whatever.
Yeah. So it's going to be I feel like the snake is only like the first form, and they did a terrible job at ending the show. I do agree.
Okay. Yes.
I do agree. But when it started to float away, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'd like to see the two of you come up with like a dictionary or the source. You know, the two of you disagreeing on.
No, because look, the way that I understand anachronisms is that, like, you've read Bikini Cowboy, right? Like, it's a surfer in the Wild West. Like, those two things don't fit, and yet somehow it is there. You know what I mean? Like, she seems like she's out of time. She doesn't fit in the place that she's in because she's a surfer, and there weren't really surfers in the Wild West. You know what I mean? Or the Wild West.
Yeah,
era.
And there wasn't floating robotic snakes in this planet Kepler 22b that end up becoming the one god. So it's an anachronism for because it's a supernatural being born. So like
From
that's
a
what
robot.
I'm trying to say. It's an
all right.
It's
Okay.
extremely esoteric. That's the underlying. You gotta know
like,
Gnosticism. You gotta.
It's
know...
like if Jesus was born from an android birthing robot.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
You should have just said that. Why couldn't you say that?
You're fucking Australian, and I'm a Navy.
What's that got to do with anything?
Wait.
So say for example, this is a perfect a segue. I watched a TV show. Hold on, I watched a TV show one time. It had a soccer player, a lacrosse player, and a football player, and the way they explained how they caught the falling drone, so they would fly a drone into the air and they would just shut it off and it would fall. The way the football player explained it, the way the lacrosse player explained it, and the way the the soccer player explained it were all completely different. But if they interlocked the three videos over each other, the way they caught the fucking drone are precisely the same. And so that's essentially what that means.
All right. I just think you're kind of tired today. I think you've had a busy day.
I'm not tired.
Wait. I just want to ask Fresher Luke something real quick.
What's that?
How tall are you?
What?
Just tell me how tall you are.
Oh, you're probably taller than me, so that's why you do that.
No. I just want to say, I want him to describe how tall
I'm not going to reveal that, dude, because that's information that I'm not
putting
on the internet.
All right. Here's what I'm really getting at. Metric
AIDS.
or English?
Yes.
Pounds or kilograms?
Mhm.
Kilograms.
You.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm from
exactly.
Australia. We use the metric system.
I mean, I thought you would have incorporated our way of life into you at this point. You know, like you.
What do you
would have
mean?
Appreciated it. You would tell me a pound weight. You would tell me a foot and inches.
Look,
height.
I
You would
can
tell
get
me.
I can get the foot and the inches bit. I can't get the grams and kilograms. I can't.
What's the
And
temperature
buy 4 bags
outside
of
right now,
weed.
my friend?
What
And
are
I'm
you doing?
and I'm still doing the whole. I'm still doing like meters, kilometers, centimeters. That's how I understand
Mm.
things because it's more accurate and it's easier.
So do you look at our road signs? You're like, what the 2 miles? What the fuck is that?
I mean,
How am
I know when I
supposed to know?
see 2 miles, like I've kind of got a general understanding of it.
Mm-hmm. You get out your converter.
It's 2.2,
No, I don't.
isn't
I
it?
don't. I make a guesstimate.
Adios, Tatsunami.
The
Hopefully
only
they
other
make you
viewer
push
of
it.
this stream is leaving.
Dude, I've been at 0. Like it shows me 0 viewers this whole time. So
When
like
the
seeing
hell
anyone
is
in chat.
when the hell is
I don't
Cecil
believe
gonna
that. That
show
doesn't
up?
make
Like,
sense.
Oh well, here's the thing. I try not to send him an invite every time to be annoying. So like every once in a while, I'll be like, "Hey, you feel like coming in?" Like, and he
he's
was
never
saying
gonna
maybe
show up.
last week,
He's never gonna.
but
show up.
I don't want to like burn that out.
Who are you talking about?
Cecil.
Cecil.
Oh, yeah, he's
We
It's
have
because they're
one-
intimidated by me because I'm an animation
Maybe.
professional.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. So
And
if
the
I
fact that I know
removed
that-
you,
The fact that I know
I
what the
hid you
difference
for a
is
while.
between an Ouroboros and Aura Borealis.
Aurora Borealis. That's what it's called. Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis, yeah.
so
Ouroboros. How do you say it?
So the snake biting its
Or-
own tail is the Ouroboros,
Ouroboros. I just
and the lights
I
in
don't
the sky
say
is
it
the
enough.
Aurora Borealis. Right?
yes.
but you can see how a man can get confused, right?
I can actually.
know?
I'm just giving J Della shit for no reason.
We have a wine shop here that is called Ampersand, and one of the pictures. So weird. I mean, his parents are Masons and they own everything, but they he has this really epic ass painting of this snake eating its own tail, and a couple other local artists there. But it's too expensive, like $2,000 or $3,000. Fuck you, you're local. I don't
You
know
know
about
what you
that.
can do? You can take a
Suck a
fucking
dick.
picture of that with your fucking like phone camera,
Yeah,
and then you can
print
just
it.
share with us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 Well, so he started. I'll be honest with you. He started. Something happened down here in Opelika not too long ago, and all of a sudden there's like tranny parties
Oh.
going on,
Oh.
and
nice.
I'm like,
Wait. Are we talking people who
Yeah.
dress up, or are we talking like?
yeah, because I'm right. I'm
legit.
literally. I'm really. You know, Auburn University.
No.
Auburn
There's
football,
there's
Auburn
a
University.
difference. There's a difference. Like people who had surgery, or people who just dress up.
No eunuchs, just transgenders. I mean, no, I said that wrong. Just cross dressers.
Yes.
And
No, I just wanted to be clear.
cross dressers.
Yeah.
And what it is not to be hermaphroditic, but like you're diminishing the quality of your wine bar, and Heather and I kind of stopped going, not because of that, but because of kind of like
Hmm.
like
Cro-
the
Cross
atmosphere.
dressers.
Say
Cross
You know what
dressers
it
got to
is the
drink wine
atmos-
too, dude.
No, what it is the atmosphere of his customers started changing. So I've always, I mean, you may not know it, but I mean, I have like a lot of suits and stuff like that. But I've gone to like wine bars and nice locations where it's always like been kind of chill, respectable. You guys having, it's always quiet, it's nice and everything. But all of a sudden, you started getting like these Auburn University people, and there's like one or two more, and then it turned into like a college festival,
Ooh.
and it the whole atmosphere changed. We have a pinball where you have pinball machines.
And then
They fucking
turned it-
started doing the tranny show, and you're like, what the
Oh.
fuck is going on? You got the wine bar, you got the fucking pinball bar. So it's
Mhm.
crazy.
It's called the apocalypse.
So that's when
Yeah.
you invest in some good filming technology and you say, $50, show me your tits, or $50, show me your fake tits. And you set up like a little system for yourself. It's like college
I'm
comes
not
to
trying
you.
to look at man's
Take advantage.
boobs.
Well, you aren't, but maybe somebody out there is. And
Yeah,
there's a
No.
dollar to be
there's
made.
always someone with a fetish
You
and
see-
a fat paycheck.
And I'm
Right.
not going to take the picture. It's not
Well,
gonna happen.
you put a form in front of them. You just talk really quick. You say, "Here's a
And
pen.
then-
Just sign
and
right
then-
here.
And then you
You want to be a star? I'll make you a star."
and then you make a website called Lady Boys Gone Wild.
Yeah.
This is
There you
not.
go.
And then
Isn't that
step
the
3,
Koreans?
profit.
Yeah. Has anyone else done it? I don't know, but you
I have.
might be the guy to.
You might be the trailblazer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Kia
Hugh
manufacturing
Hefner,
plant.
Larry
I'm putting
Flint.
flyers in the windshield of every Asian employee.
Jade.
I mean, there can be non-Asian lady boys.
Okay,
Right.
I'm doing that
Right.
too.
You're making it American, right?
When I hear ladyboy, I think of a
No,
petite, small
yeah,
Asian man.
It's Malaysian or Thai.
Sure.
my lady
which one.
boy, my lady
My
boy.
lady boy.
Malay.
There.
I think it's a nicer way of saying it, but whatever.
Hmm.
The alternative. I feel like saying someone's like trans is like, I don't know. It's kind of
Well, because we were stationed in New Orleans, and my sister was born in Jacksonville, and then we were stationed in Key West as well. So they all have like fake Mardi Gras as well. So
Yeah.
you always see like dudes like hilariously dressed, like and what do you call that from that movie with the guy with the
Priscilla,
It's
Queen
a-
of the Desert.
yeah, he sings and he's dressed in the corset shit.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Sure, but you always see like men in that stuff at these
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother level.
I guess it's
because
because they
you know,
want
like-
dick.
Well, what it is like you got like a bookstore where children go to it, a financial place. You have a coffee shop right next door. So you
Mm.
can imagine going to a coffee shop, you're drinking some coffee. You know, you're at Old Town Opelika, and all of a sudden, like men start walking up in lime green high heel fucking platform shoes, and you're like, what the fuck,
What's in
That's
this
just what I'm
coffee?
saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
But that just started. How are we on this topic?
I don't know.
I don't know. You got
started
us
it.
here.
You-
You got us.
You were
here.
driving this car, my man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you a profit motive.
I'm
at
not
the end of
doing it.
Oh,
I'm not doing it.
I'm just trying to convince everyone that The Rock would make a great All Might.
No
That's all I'm
bathroom
trying to do.
shots, or what do you call them? No glory hole shots.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good policy to have.
Good. Very
Uh,
good policy.
Yeah.
you go. You go
Alright, well-
into a wine bar. And you got a glory hole. I don't know.
See, I would have thought if you go into a wine bar, just everyone would just be complaining.
Man, it was so cool. It was so cool. The bar.
I like
he
how
had,
that joke just went over his head.
Well, what it is it was really nice and then it changed, and it's just like a memory popped in my head.
Well, I guess I can throw that joke out. No one picked it up.
I thought it was a good joke.
Thanks, man.
What was
Thanks,
the joke
thanks for
again?
not
Tell it
laughing.
again.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Well,
about it.
you know,
We gotta
it-
move
it-
on. We gotta
that-
move on.
that
Don't
was
know.
Laffy Taffy worthy. That was the popsicle stick of your.
I'm just trying to
Joke.
liven things up here, and everything's falling flat. It's fucking bullshit. Anyway,
All
what
right.
what else can we discuss? Let's change subjects, Lucius. Let's.
Well, I mean, I honestly I've run through everything I prepped, other
Okay.
than an Ink Spot song. Do you guys want to
Yeah, let's
listen to
do
the Ink
that.
Spot song?
Should
All
wait?
right.
Are we wrapping up? Should we save it for the end?
I mean, it's kind of unless you guys have something you really want to push, promote,
Yeah.
or want
All-
to talk about.
The Rock is All Might.
Rock is All Might. Now, do you have something to show us?
I don't. I just
What's
came
your
up with this.
pitch?
I just came up with this today.
What's your pitch, man? And I'm kind of a little handicapped. some of my drink got on my trackpad, and it's acting really wonky.
All right.
So it's been zooming me in and out on shit, and luckily I have like as a Surface Pro, so I can still touch interface
all
to
right.
do shit.
All right. Wait.
Yeah,
Let me do
Make
this
your
thing.
case here.
What's the
Let
trackpad?
me.
Oh, the
That's
Apple
like on your
trackpad.
on your laptop. It's a little pad that you would like go around your screen on for your cursor and all that.
And spilling something on it messed it up?
I wouldn't have thought so, dude. I dried it up pretty quick, but like
Oh.
it's been like acting as if there's another finger on it, and it like zooms in and out when I try to just move around the screen.
Right.
So
All right. Here we go, guys. Here we go.
if I don't do shit, it doesn't do shit. But I have touch interface, but it's way more cumbersome to do basic stuff. Here we go.
Yeah, I think a logo. Oh my god. Nah, man. It has to be someone like the Senator. When I see this, I think of the Senator.
Wait. I got a better one.
That is pretty decent, though.
Yeah. Look at that.
No. No.
That's
The whole
perfect.
point
see?
about him is like he has black eyes, man. Like he is like.
Well, no. I mean, you obviously you do like a little bit of.
I mean, look,
CGI.
The Rock is
also.
bulky and he has charisma. I'll give him that. But like, there's a hokiness to All Might. I don't know that I could see The Rock
I think he could do it.
doing.
I think he could do it.
I mean,
That's-
it couldn't be anyone else in the world I can think about right now.
But I mean, look at that. The Rock offered $40 million to play All Might.
But
in
I'm
upcoming
not-
live action My Hero Academia.
What?
Moist.
I'm
Is
not
that
gonna
real?
lie. I don't know who else to nominate. Like I don't know who else to put up there.
That's what I was saying, but it
Back
can't
in
be
the
the
day,
Rock.
Hulk Hogan would have been like top of the line choice because he fits the profile. But there would have been shaving off the mustache.
Look, he's
Give
doing
him
the
real
he's,
hair.
he's doing the All Might stance. He's putting the fist up. Look at that.
That's true. That's true.
And then you just Chris Pratt him from do the Chris Pratt thing, not Chris Pratt, Chris Evans thing with Captain America in the first film when he starts out all skinny when he's changing back to his different form. That's what you do.
Maybe. I get you.
And also, I think they're trying. Aren't they making a Berserk live action series?
I've heard they're going to.
They're gonna fuck that up so much. Oh my god!
Probably. I give it more chances of success.
See, the only way I think that
like
they
Cowboy Bebop or something like that,
Oh,
like
yeah.
somewhere they really have to put a lot of
But
money.
like,
into
there's
it.
always the casting choices that always ruins it. It's like the only way they could do Berserk properly is if they had Channing Tatum as Guts.
Oh, fucking A. Ugh.
I mean, just somebody who can personify it. I don't think it even has to be really that good. Have you guys seen the Superman and Lois CW show?
I haven't, but I've seen bits of it.
I would say watch the first 4 or 5 episodes. I watched the first 6 episodes because I think they split it up, and then I couldn't watch the rest. And then it just falls in like typical melodrama, and there's melodrama elements in the first 6 episodes, but it doesn't consume it. But it's pretty well done, I think, as far as like CG, special effects, and everything else goes. Like I'm like, damn, we've hit the point where like even a CW show can pull off legit flying and like superpower effects without it being like too cheesy, too like lame.
Yeah.
And I think like Berserk could follow that realm, and just go into like the fantasy, which way more simple. Like you don't have to do like all this tech, super high end stuff or whatever. And the main thing is just like making sure you don't sacrifice the hardcore elements of Berserk, because there are super hardcore elements of it,
Which they will do.
right? Exactly. Which would be the number one concern. But at the same time, I'm like, we've already got the book. Like, I don't worry about.
Well, I feel like the only reason they went ahead and tried to start doing it is because of Kintaro like dying.
Maybe,
they're like, well, we don't have to deal with this motherfucker.
Right.
haha.
We don't have this
keep all the
roadblock
money.
anymore.
Yeah.
Just like Cowboy Bebop, where just like I can't
Well, the
see that
thing
fucking
is,
Netflix show working. Like, I don't want to watch it. I don't care for it.
Well, the thing is, Netflix always hires the worst people to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I
they're
still have
usually
the
guys. They're usually guys who don't know how to direct. They've directed something that is completely unrelated. They have like little to no understanding of what makes anime or animation work, and they can't even make that translation. And the other thing is, I think Cowboy Bebop fans are a lot different from Berserk fans. I feel like Berserk fans are like way more. They're like almost like Lord of the Rings fans. You know what I mean? Like they're the people who grew up reading that shit and they understand it on a deeper level. You know what I mean? Rather than say Cowboy Bebop, which was just a show,
I
it
think
wasn't a book.
it's such a unique element of like the genres.
Yeah. Well, the other thing
like,
is,
I came into it late, like super duper. I remember watching it like whatever they
Wait,
had of it.
Cowboy
And
Bebop or Berserk?
Berserk, like the first animation run back in the early 2000s, but it was
See,
like
I
partial.
read the book. I read the books,
Mhm.
and then I was like, "Whoa, this is fucking crazy." Because the thing that works, feel free to jump in, J Dollar. The thing that
Well,
oh, go ahead.
I just don't know enough. I know about what y'all talking about. I just not enough. So I'll just go like this.
Okay. Well, the other thing is, you're right, Lucius. Like the thing that makes Berserk work really well is because of those hardcore elements. Like, but they're necessary to sort of show how absolutely brutal the world is.
The Netflix had, I watched on Netflix the
Lucius,
newer animation.
Lucius, could
What?
you ever do art like that?
Like Berserk?
Yes.
I think I like, as far as getting into detail, yes.
But not be like Joe Ball.
But part of his thing was like inventing these creatures, and like, I mean, it's like elements of nightmares, and like you have to come up with a new one over and over and over again. Like, I feel like that's what consumed him too, is like involving himself in that world and extrapolating out. Like I'm kind of Johnny come lately to the Berserk series. I watched it from your boy Zach talking about the Netflix movies that were on there, and they go over what's called the Golden Age arc and the whole thing, which is kind of
the
the
Millennium arc.
Yeah, like it's kind of like the arc to read and to watch in the series, where it's just like the fall of these characters. Like they're going through this like heroic phase, but then they quickly go through this like nightmarish hell, and then they end up.
Well, no, it's not. It's not quickly. It's like the first arc. I guess you could say it's part one. It's them. It's when everything's normal. Like, you know, they're part of a mercenary band, and then this, you know, their leader Griffith, he gets fucked up.
Yeah, the band of
and it's when he makes the deal with the devil that everything starts to go crazy.
Exactly. But the series itself starts you off before that, and then it goes back and covers that ground, and you end up in that same spot.
Yeah.
So they start you off where like Guts.
Oh yeah, the original, the very first thing. Yeah.
And then they cover that arc like in the original series. But if you watch this Netflix thing, it starts you off in that, where you go through like it's normal, and then it goes into this hell realm, and that's where like it takes off. But like there's hardcore elements that they didn't really take out, and they did take out. Like if you read the manga, like they cut out parts that really didn't matter and just got to the core parts of the story.
Remember the bit? You read the book, right, Lucius?
I haven't read the whole thing. I have the deluxe volumes. Basically through the Golden Arc, I have the deluxe volumes. So
okay.
I've seen what it is.
So you haven't gotten the bit where they're in that cave with the trolls?
No.
And they've got all the women in there?
No.
Okay. Well,
but I can imagine.
You're in for a treat, my man. You're in for a treat.
Yeah. But I mean, it never shies away. That's the thing. It's like, can Netflix shy away?
That's what I liked about it, because it's like that. It's just the pure raw horror of existence, and then later on, I think when there's this other bit that later on where you're gonna love it, where there's like this holy order, right? And there's like all the peasants that are surrounding it, because obviously things are starting to go crazy as more and more monsters start to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the peasants are like, you know, they're trying to they've gathered around outside this castle that the holy order like controls, and they're like, let us in, you know, we need to be saved. And so because they're all about purity and sort of like abolishing kind of like demonic thoughts, there's like these small cult of people who have kind of like devolved to sort of like worshipping like pagan I guess symbols and deities, and it's like really crazy because they're all like, you know, dancing around a fire naked and having orgies, and it's just like there's this guy who's wearing like this goat's head on his head, and it's just nuts. It's just
Sounds
delves
awesome.
It's crazy because then like weird things start to happen, like one of the monsters starts to show up, and yeah, it just gets fucking crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I think I saw the on HBO they have the anime that shows that bit. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, because it's usually that, because as things are getting crazier, that's because when Griffith is like getting reincarnated into the material world from the spiritual world that he ended up in. So yeah.
And you said it's coming to Netflix.
They're trying to do a live action thing of it. Netflix already has like
it's like Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
And then when HBO did Fist of the North Star, you're like, what? You can't do that. Like, it's the same. You can't do that.
No.
And I think that's why Steven Spielberg struggles so hard, because he's had Akira for so long, but he has been not been able to produce something worth a shit to get that IP out.
Well, the thing is, if you're going to do Akira, you've got to do it like a Hong Kong film. You've got to do it exactly like a Hong Kong film. It's got to be grimy but futuristic. Nothing but young male Asian actors and female Asian actors.
You have to also beat out the vision of the animation movie too, or at least match
yeah,
it.
but that's
like,
the thing.
You can't fall
like,
short of it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the movie still holds up today, and that's that movie that got me into animation in the first place.
Yeah.
When I saw that, it blew my fucking mind, because then all of a sudden I realized animation can be anything. And it doesn't just have to be Looney Tunes. It can be whatever you can imagine, right?
Dude, just the like first 10 minutes of that film.
The first 10 minutes is fucking cinematic gold. And the thing is, most of these filmmakers don't understand that the art direction is right there in front of them. They're just too chicken shit to try and achieve that level of
but can you see them achieving that? That's the thing.
You can do it, but one thing is, they can't get over their own ego. They can't get over their own hubris. Because especially like guys like, say, someone like Steven Spielberg is probably going to be like, well, I'm Steven Spielberg. I got to do it my way because I'm Steven Spielberg. The only Western directors that I think could possibly have a shot of doing a proper adaptation of Akira are the Wachowskis, because they did Speed Racer, and not only did they nail Speed Racer, but they made it cooler. And that was a kids' film, granted, but they had an understanding of what made Speed Racer so unique and so entertaining.
Yeah, now they're transgender, though.
What's that got to do with anything? It's still the same people.
You went from doing a kids' film, and now you want them to... It's kind of weird.
I don't know.
If the new Matrix film comes out with the one brother, because
I think they're both sisters now, man.
Yeah, they're brothers. They,
okay, whatever.
If he can do that film good by himself, then I think maybe
Robert Rodriguez, because Alita was pretty good. I will give them that.
Nah, there's a couple directors. Who did the first couple episodes of Stranger Things?
I forget.
Look them up. I don't know.
Anyway, if you have either of you seen Speed Racer?
Yes,
no.
It was great.
Movie? Yeah, Speed Racer was amazing. It was like,
I let my kid watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Such a good film. I love that.
It totally hit all the it was nostalgic.
It was nostalgic, but it was like fresh and new. It was like,
I liked it.
I remembered it as a Speed Racer when I watched it as a kid, but it was like you know, it was like updated, but still stayed true to everything. I guess I know that's ambiguous, but I feel like the Wachowskis and maybe Robert Rodriguez are the only ones who could possibly pull off Akira.
You know, if there was going to be an Akira movie, I'm not sure who the director was.
Matt Duffer. Matt Duffer.
If
you can get him,
I'm scared
from the Duffer Brothers.
I don't know. He's the one who created Stranger Things.
The Duffer Brothers. He couldn't do it.
I don't know. Give him a budget.
No, he couldn't do it, dude.
No.
So, the movie Drive, like I thought that had a great 80s vibe, but it didn't seem set in the 80s. Like, you know, it was like modern times, the 80s nostalgia.
I don't think you need an 80s vibe. You just need.
But Nicholas Winding Refn was.
He wouldn't. He couldn't do it.
I don't know if you could do the full movie, but I'd want it to be like.
It has to be Asian.
It has to be Asian. It has to be. Yeah, you have to do it like a Hong Kong film. It has to be.
But you have to understand, it was made in its time. Like even though it's set in current time, like I'd want to respect the elements of the original. Like,
but I mean, Akira is such a quintessentially Japanese
maybe the art
film.
director would be the person to take from that. But yeah, like you know, like taking that leather jacket, you know, the capsule leather jacket of Canada, and like
the red
bringing
one,
that, you know, and not making it look hokey, but acknowledging the first one. Like that's going to be a struggle in of itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see adaptations. Just let it be. Just let it be. You know, you ain't gotta like make everything into a movie. You know.
Well, I mean,
or just do it. You can do another anime.
Right.
You remember the original Final Fantasy? That was pretty damn good.
Yeah, right.
That's the Spirits Within animated one.
Spirits Within.
Animated one.
Spirits Within.
I can't remember it. I remember watching it, but I don't.
That was such a bad film. That was so bad.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is there can be movies done like that.
the Final Fantasy VII remake was a better film than that film.
Yes, of course it was. Because it was a whole different production team. The Americans did it. That's like the ones who did the cartoon where they're in space and they break the crystals and it starts the Earth regenerator again. And it had Matt Damon as the main character.
Titan AE?
Titan AE, yeah. If
there wasn't no crystals. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, not the ice crystals. When the heat, it melts the ice and turns the water.
That has nothing to do with that film.
When they turn the fucking machine on, it melts the ice. That's the whole point of it.
No, the machine was a plan. The thing they were looking for was the Titan, which was
that's what I said.
Builder. It's got nothing to do with the ice.
You know, look at you guys fighting. You both speak the same language, but you're separated.
We're catching it different.
It's because he hasn't got his skull icon right now. It's
because he's on a prison colony.
What?
Oh
no, I'm not. I'm in America.
California is a prison colony.
What? It's not a prison colony.
Yeah,
it's a dystopia.
It's like on loan. Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't want to fucking live there. That's for sure.
Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway.
Well, Northern California. I imagine Northern California.
No, just all of California. All of it.
Yeah, just get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
Me and Fresher Luke, we crossed our fingers on the destruction of California in one of our talks. So yeah, we're all on board.
Let's move to Virginia. We'll do that. Go there.
Yeah. Coming up to the Mid-Atlantic.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess
come to the South.
J Dollars had enough, so
dude,
I guess we can
the South got some good fucking eats, man. I'll give them
what?
that, man.
Like what?
Like country cooking, dude. Like any fried chicken, biscuits, like
disgusting.
Creole food is great.
Oh my god.
That is true. That is good. Yeah, like gumbo. That's
the what is it called? Oysters Rockefeller is delicious. Some oh man, I'm hungry right now thinking about
some
this.
gator, some armadillo.
Some salmon. Gator's all right.
Any
Gator's all right.
any kangaroo in there?
Is
No,
kangaroo all
you're
right?
too far south.
South than south.
Yeah, but we're not afraid to eat some roux. All right, we'll eat some roux.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah,
everything.
If I feed you some roux, you'll eat it.
I will for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I've had everything except for, like.
Well, there you go. You
Bison
failed the
balls.
test. Now I know that you're not Mexican, Lucius. Haha.
Oh no, you found me out.
Mexicans hate kangaroos. There you go.
What about
Baby
baby roux?
goose.
Is baby roux like a thing?
No,
Yeah,
that's you're
venison,
thinking.
baby roux.
You're
Yeah.
thinking of lambs.
Ugh.
And,
So is
I,
There, little cub.
I
Is it
guess
like
we
a
should.
delicacy?
I guess we should sign out with an Ink Spots song now.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me.
He clearly, Luke's eating venison
God.
kangaroo, clearly.
No, I haven't. Done.
I'm touchscreening this whole fucking thing because my trackpad's still fucked up.
Oh,
All right. So which ones are you of what we see here? Now we already watched Meat Balloon. So we have The Man, Revenge Song, Sniffing Your Love, Don't Drop the Soap, Every Man for Himself, or Brother.
J Dolla's choice.
Soap sounds good.
Don't Drop the Soap.
Don't drop the soap.
All right. Can you hear the audio?
Yep.
All right.
Never drop your soap in the shower unless you're gonna take a surprise. Never drop your soap in the shower around into some guys because they'll go to town. They'll stick it in your brow. Yeah, they'll go to town and stick it way up in your brow. They're gonna drop the soap.
It's really hard to hear the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. It was like Don't Drop the Soap or They Go to Town on Your Brown.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, he needs a better mic setup.
well, it's weird because he's done live versions and you hear him just fine. So his recorded, his
You
mic
know,
is
yeah,
too
that's-
far away from him.
Yeah, because I remember when he was on here and he'd sing it and it came out fine, but for some reason when he's recording it, yeah, I think you're right.
But that almost seemed like prison PSA. Like
Yeah.
don't drop the soap because if you do, somebody might take you to town. Yeah. So I am Lucius at Jaw Smashers on Twitter. You guys give your own sign outs. Fresher Luke, anything you want to push?
You
or,
can find me on YouTube at Fresher Luke. I'm on there. J Dell is freaking me out by putting the camera so close to his face. Yeah, go check me out there. And yeah, thanks for having me on, Lucius.
You're welcome. And then we have J Dollar. Oops. Sorry, touchpad. My finger's too fat. Throw us your promo, bro.
Follow me on Twitter, Pope J Dalla. I'm starting a new channel sometime in the future. And
Hey, is
yeah,
that
that's
So
painting
promising.
Is that painting of Skeletor behind you new?
when I met Dan, the guy that was sitting next to Dan, who was wearing two masks, he was kind of cool. So it was like $10, I think,
Okay.
for 11 by 17.
Looks cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good Skeletor.
All right.
And then Heather painted that.
So a new channel soon. Anything else?
No.
right.
Stay black.
All right.
Whoa.
There we go. So we got that, and yeah. So stay black as usual.
Stay fresh.
Yeah, stay fresh, and come back next week. We'll all be here. Come back, y'all. Now.
See.